Oh, well, hey, Beth. It's Jamie, that's me here. Welcome back. Let's go ahead and talk about the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. All right, y'all, let's start off with Miss Heather. Heather's business is doing good, okay? Y'all know Miss Girl is into, like, what's that, body care, face care, all of that. She gives the Botox and stuff. So business has been doing great for her, especially since people have been at the house dealing with the pandemic, okay? She said they staring in the mirror and looking at all their flaws and stuff like that, so they ready to go ahead and, get a little work done. And I know that's right, considering the fact that y'all don't have to spend all that money on gas, okay, every single week, trying to travel into the city to go to work, okay, running up gas. Girl, I'm saving a lot of money, just put it like that, okay? So you got room to do a little other things, okay? So anyway, girl, get your coin, do what you got to do out there, Miss Heather. So she ends up FaceTiming Whitney. Tells her about the link up she had with Jen, how everything went and how they're back to being best friends again. And I'm like, girl, you need to be a little careful. Jen has shown y'all her colors. Don't be so overly accepting of her. But I understand if y'all have the conversation and you're choosing to forgive this person, you have to let some things go. But if she do it again, don't be so quick to take her back, period, okay? So she asked Whitney, like, where are you with talking to Jen? Like, how are you feeling about it? And Whitney like, girl, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, which way it's going to turn. We just going to have to see. We're going to play it out. We're just going to see how it works. Heather just lets her know, like, girl, just so you know, please understand that where Jen is right now, Jen is at a place where she's looking for peace and she wants to mend fences right now. So we'll see how that's going to play out, okay? I guess because I feel like that sit down that the both of them had, Jen was on some bullshit. And Heather just chose to go along with it and end up accepting her back into her life, even though, like, Jen did apologize. But what I did not like was the same thing that Jen did to Meredith, and we'll talk about that at a later time. She did it with Heather, talking about her damn kids. And it's like, Jen, you don't even care about what your kids think and how you be presenting yourself on TV. How you be showing out. You don't even be caring how you about to fight somebody or whatever, and your husband has to snatch you up while your kids are there. An event that you threw for your husband for them to snatch you up and get you to calm down and take you wherever they're going to take you. So I hate how she has a lack of respect for her own children, but want to sit up there and ask everybody else, how do you think my kids feel? Can't stand the deflection. Can't stand it at all. Lisa and Jen end up going skiing with another one of their friends. So once they're done, they sit down, they chit chat about their husbands and stuff. And this is when Jen let Lisa know, like, I'm doing an event. Okay, I planned an event for the ladies. And Lisa's like, well, girl, who all did you invite? She invited Whitney. She invited Heather. She even invited Meredith, which was interesting, even though I don't think she had heard back from Meredith. And she also invited Mary. And I don't think she heard back from Mary at that time either. So she's inviting the ladies. And of course, Lisa is happy about that because she wants her to get back cool with Meredith, right? But I thought it was interesting for for Jen to sit up there and tell Lisa, like, yeah, for this event, I need a few personal details about you, like your name on your ID, your height, your weight, okay, your eye color. I'm like, girl, are you joking? Because I know you ain't talking about doing this just for y'all to go and do what y'all did at the end of the episode, which was stand on a frozen damn lake. You need all of that information. Why? Just in case she fell through the water, y'all needed to identify. Like, I didn't understand that. But okay then, Jen, girl, let me go ahead and scoot down to something else. Because I was like, Jen, what the fuck? Anyway, so Mary goes out to eat with her son. Y'all, Mary is funny, right? Sometimes I be hoping that the jokes she be giving, she be playing. Sometimes I feel like Mary just be too honest. And she's a bit funny, but I think it's because she's so honest. That's what makes it funny. But yeah, and she's definitely awkward, but we'll move on, okay? So she's sitting down with her son, and it's so weird to hear her talking to confessional because he came out of nowhere. How she has to tell her son to protect himself because she's still focused on the STD, and how she doesn't want him to bring anything back. So is this your way of letting us know that your son is very sexually active, Miss Mary? Miss Mary Mack, is that what it is? Your son is very sexually active and you want to make sure that he's going to protect himself out here in these streets. Okay. What else ended up happening? She talked to him about him wanting to leave the house. She was like, oh, your dad told me you want to move out. Is that right? And he was like, yeah. She was like, okay, why? You know, he just wants to be, you know, at peace and have a little bit of independence sometimes. She said, okay, that's fine. But how you finna pay your bills? I said, I know that's right. How you finna pay them? Because if you think that you finna leave this house and I'm finna pay them bills too, oh, no, baby. No, baby, we're not finna do that. Okay, this big old gigantic house, you on one side, I'm on the other, your daddy on another, and you think that what? Say what now? No. So she asked about how he gonna pay his rent. He said, I don't know yet. And then it seems like she's like really putting off the idea of him joining the military, because I guess she feels like it'll give him more structure or something like that. Maybe instead of having people around the house doing for him, he'll be in a position where he got to be forced to do stuff for himself or whatnot. So she kind of, you know, throws that out there a few times, but I don't think little man interested in that at all. But let's move on. Let's get to Jenny. Jenny, this is the new girl, okay? Jenny, what I liked was to see her family in that kitchen, and they were doing the sciences, like the little experiment for their daughter, and I like how they kind of make a Saturday out of it or whatever it is, but I like that. I like that they see something that she's interested in, and they give her room to explore that. I think that's really dope. When I was looking at it, I was like, oh, they got some really good kids. You know, their son got over there so he can help clean up, and then the siblings went over there to help him a little bit. And it wasn't like, you get on my nerves, get out of here, move. It was cute for whatever it was. So when they went to go sit down in the living room and the dad was like, we have some great kids, I was like, yeah, y'all, it seems like y'all do, right? So then he tells her, he finds this time to let Jenny know, hey, I want to have more kids. Okay, yeah, all right. And she's not featuring it because what we learned about Jenny is that she's had, 9 miscarriages and 3 C-sections. So clearly all her children, she's had 3 C-sections and 9 miscarriages. My God, to me, that's a lot. Okay, I think I've heard of Gabrielle Union probably having more C-sections than, more miscarriages than Jenny, but still, like, one too many. God, dog, you know? So I really hated to hear that. And what I really hated the most about this scene when they sat down and they talked, the husband wasn't showing any sympathy or understanding to her situation for him to be whatever kind of doctor he is. I did not like that at all. And then, you know, once she told him, like, you know, I had 3 C-sections and, you know, 9 miscarriages or whatever, I'm afraid of putting my body through that. He said, well, we got to start somewhere. And I've been doing some research on some things we could do. And I'm over here like, we got to start somewhere. What the fuck? What? Yeah, it started and it stops now because I've already told you we ain't going down that road. So what else is going on, brother? You want to have all these kids. You see my body ain't prepared for it. So if I go in here and have this child and the child make it and I don't, what you finna do? You ain't doing a whole lot of helping out now because she's the one staying at home. So how that finna work? You gonna be out here being a single dad taking care of all these kids? Yeah, no. Okay. But when he turned around and said he's been doing research, it made me wonder, are you about to say a surrogate? Because if that's what you want, you better be saying a surrogate. But I also want to know from Jenny, do you not want more children because you have a fear of carrying them? Or is it that 3 is enough? Okay. 3's a crowd, 3's company, whatever you want to call it. You've had enough. Is that what it is? And you're just not at a place where you want to raise more kids? And another thing is Jenny looks older. Like, as much as she may look young in some of her pics, she looks older. That lady look like she probably in her early 40s or something. She probably don't want to have no child now, especially now that she got 3. She supposed to be living her best life. She ain't trying to be up here running behind these kids now that she at home. So I just hate how he's being insensitive and inconsiderate of her feelings and all of that. So I don't know who they may need to go talk to, but if she bends on that, I feel like she should give him one more child, if she's okay with it, and go and have it by a surrogate. Cause ain't nobody finna no. And probably once he see that, he may be okay and be like, you know what? Nah, we ain't gotta have no more kids. But girl, we'll see how that's gonna go. Good luck. Let's go ahead and move on to Heather. Heather, her daughter Ashley is getting ready to go off to college. She's excited. She wants her to get out there and be a problem child, enjoy life, make mistakes, because that's how you're going to learn. So that's exciting. It's scary at the same time because I think she's in Utah, but her daughter's going to California. So that's a very, very scary at the same time. So I don't blame her though for the girl wanting to leave and get the hell out of Dodge. She ain't got nothing really tying her there but her mom. So yeah, go out there and explore. Hell, if you go to first year, you don't like it, first semester, you don't like it, come back home. That's fine. Okay, just always be aware of your surroundings and stuff. Okay, always communicate, honey. But anyway, so that's that. So she asked her daughter about like church. Okay, so do you think that you're gonna get back into church? We haven't been to church in a minute. And the girl says, yeah, but it's gonna be a minute for me. You know, her mom said, so you ain't going back to church ever? She was like, no, I'm gonna go at some point, but girl, I'm not gonna be no fucking Mormon. That's what I'm not gonna do. Okay, let's be clear about that. Then her other daughter was sitting up there saying, girl, I am very spiritual, ma'am. Her daughter was like, girl, I am highly spiritual. However, that Mormon life, it ain't for me either. Okay, so that's dead. And then she ends up telling her daughter how she likes the fact that they have an option, because when she was a child, she didn't have that option. It was like, this is what it is. This is where you're going to go. This is how it's going to play out. But she gives her kids more free range to have that option. I feel like if their dad was in their life, they wouldn't have that option. They'll be forced, you know, to have a certain lifestyle and to, you know, be Mormons and stuff. But now that it's, you know, just their mom and stuff, they have more room to do what they want. Her youngest daughter, which was very interesting, she said that she wants to go, but she feel like they haven't been in such a long time that it's probably too late to go back. And her mama told her, no, it's not. You can go and I'll go with you just to support you. Let's be clear about that. I'm gonna go to support you, girl. But if you think that I'm gonna go back and join Mormons, girl, you got me up too. I'm with your sisters. But if that's what you want to do for the life for you, I'll go and sit up there with you. Okay, so I don't see that happening for that baby no time soon. I don't think that little girl is going to go back to church to be no Mormon, okay, because it's only going to probably put her mom in a position to get back to being a Mormon, but her mom ain't on that same wavelength no more. She's so far removed from it. So then at that point, it's going to be just, I feel like pain going to church or going to be a Mormon or going back to the Mormon church or whatever, when that's not something that she wants to do. Even though she told her daughter, like, you don't have to do anything alone. I'm like, at some point, she probably is, ma'am, because that's not where you want to be. Okay, so when she started doing festivities and different things with the Mormon church, you're probably going to be going up there to drop her off because you're not going to be a part of that. Yikes. But I don't see the little girl going back until she gets older. Okay, so that's that on that, girl. Good luck. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to Meredith, Brooks, and Mary, because Mary stops over to have a chit chat with them. What we learn is that Brooks and Mary actually have gotten closer over the summer or whenever, since he fell out with Jen. He and Mary have gotten really closer. Of course, they have a common enemy, Miss Jen. All right, now Brooks confided in her about Jen out here liking different negative tweets and stuff about him. I believe that 1000%. Ain't nobody for to tell me nothing different. I do believe Jen was out here liking shit. I believe Jen was out here saying stuff. And I just feel like that's not her place to say that. And number two, that's the child. Number one, that's not your place to out somebody else's sexuality. And number two, that's the mother child. Okay. Now, granted, he may be like 19, 20, whatever. Okay, but to you, he's still looked at as a child, just like you still look at your sons like they're a child, even though they're grown men. So yeah, no, I just felt like, she shouldn't do that. What else did I want to say about this? So Mary is talking to Jen, like, girl, not talking to Jen, but Mary is talking to Meredith, like, girl, you should have a conversation. You don't think you want to call her on the phone and check her, put her in her place? Meredith was like, not really. She said, well, she invited me to an event, but I don't know if I'm gonna go. And Mary tells her, well, girl, you need to go. Okay, you need to go to this event so that you can put her in her place and tell her to leave your family alone and stop with y'all. Okay, then she looks at y'all, Mary looks at Brooks and says, now you have to be quiet. You have to be very quiet. I had to fart. But see, that's what happens, okay? Talking about Jen is what makes me do that. And I said, girl, Mary is crazy. She definitely topped it off at the end by saying, talking about Jen makes me do that, poop or whatever. But it's like, girl, you was rude and out of line. We did not hear you say, excuse me, ma'am. Don't nobody want to be smelling your fumes all over the place, girl, on these people nice furniture. Excuse yourself. Girl, you're a little too real for TV. Let's go ahead and move on, honey. The girls. So Whitney and Heather are on their way to link up with Jen. And Miss Whitney said, girl, I brought me a life coat because remember the life jacket, because last time I was with Jen said she was going to drown me. We are going to a frozen lake. I just want to make sure that if I happen to go under, If the ice happens to break on me, then I'm going to be able to save myself. Okay. There's that. And then we see where Lisa and Jenny are on their way as well. Another thing that came to mind was Jen calling herself Zen Jen, like Zen Win over on Real Housewives of Potomac. And I was like, Jen, ain't nothing about you Zen at all, girl. But I guess, honey, goodbye. So moving on, Mary said that she wasn't going to attend. And the reason why is because she said, I don't want to be on no lake and I don't like fishing. And I'm like, Mary, you left one thing out. What you left out and you forgot to say was, and I don't with you. Let's be clear. Okay. I don't like you like that, girl. So I'm not trying to be around you right now, especially not on no frozen lake. Let's move on. Let it go. Now, what else happened? So Meredith finally arrives and she starts strutting all over the place, right? She's strutting. Like, I'm like, why she like she got a little strut to her? She ain't just walking. She got a strut. And I'm like, okay. So then she sees the ladies running because they caught something in one of the holes. And she said, oh, I see all these women running around trying to catch fish. But honey, I only got one fish that I'm ready to fry. And her name is Jen Shaw. I said, come on, Meredith, in this confessional. Okay, she has been letting Miss Jen have it. I'm so here for it. Okay, now Meredith says the ladies, Meredith, no, she tells Elisa she was thinking about not coming, but she wants to talk with Jen, so that's why she's there. So Miss Jen comes to sit down. They get ready to have the conversation. Okay, Meredith says that she made it very clear at the reunion that if anybody's going to talk about her family, then it's clear that you guys are not my friend. What was it? Exactly. Okay. She said, now, did I not tell you that, Susie Blue? And she was like, yeah. Jim was like, yeah, girl, you did say that. Okay, where we going with this? So then Meredith calls Jen out for liking tweets about her son, negative tweets, homophobic tweets. Okay. Trying to out his sexuality before he gets the opportunity to do it himself. Okay. And also, which was new to me, she said that Mary hopped on a Zoom call. And on that Zoom call, she ended up bringing up more information about her son or discussing her son even more. That was a problem as well. Jen did not respond to this very well. And it pissed me off because she immediately says, what are you talking about? First of all, you came with such like, you was doing too much, okay? Too much. What are you talking about? Like, you know what you did, bruh. And that's what I can't stand about Jen Shaw. She always try to get this amnesia, like she just don't recall that she do. She did it all at the reunion last year, and then here it is. You try to do the same thing. I can't take it. Okay, she's like, what are you talking about? And so Meredith says, oh, do I need to pull my phone out? So she pulls the phone out, shows her the tweet. Okay, that she ended up liking or whatever. And then Jen says, I didn't like it. I didn't like it. Okay. And that's what really pissed Meredith off. And I'm like, Jen, you're a liar. I do not believe you. The truth is not in you. I said what I said, girl. Okay. You lying. So then Meredith gets up and she leaves. And then when she's leaving, because she's like, I can't take any more of this BS, the lying, the deflecting, the not admitting the truth. I can't take it. And I was with Meredith, girl, get up off the table and get the hell on. Then Jen sits back unbothered and cracks the joke. I guess she's disengaging. So I'm just going to let her go since she's And I was like, girl, you're so disrupt. Ooh, but okay then. So then when she walks off, she's leaving. Lisa runs behind Meredith, tries to get her to talk and lets her know, like, listen, I want you guys to work it out. I want you guys to talk, okay? But she don't want anybody else interrupting, which was very interesting because I'm like, BIT wasn't nobody interrupting. The only person interrupting and deflecting was motherfucking Jen. Wasn't nobody else saying that somebody don't want nobody out here interrupting. And then who comes and interrupts? Miss Jenny. Jenny runs up, all aggressive and everything, yelling at the ladies. Do you want to be friends? Do you want to? First of all, ma'am, how about you go take a seat and a page out of Whitney and Heather's book? You new to the crew. You should have went over there and sat down and been quiet and let these ladies do what it is they gonna do. You running up here trying to be out here in the midst of stuff. I ain't like all that. I'm like, girl, no ma'am. So Jen lies to, before Jen gets over there with Lisa, Meredith, Jenny, she's talking to the other ladies that are sitting down, talking about all she's ever done was support Brooks. And I'm like, girl, you a support Brooks ass lie. You probably did support Brooks at one point until you saw what he said about not wanting to see your vagina. And I didn't want to see this. Girl, so yeah, it was in that moment that you switched up. So, what else ended up happening? So Jeannie walks over and she tries to mediate the situation, even though I feel like she should really sit her ass down and take a page out of other people's book. She started asking them, she tried to force them to talk, like, do you want to be friends? Do you want to be friends? You guys need to work this out and all this other stuff. And it's like, girl, how you know you can handle them like that? Everybody not gonna respond well to Nene like that. Shout out to Meredith for staying in her zone. Like, girl, I hear what you're saying, but at the end of the day, when this woman talking about my child and you think that's okay, like I'm supposed to just easily forgive her, and she ain't even acknowledging or admitting what it is that she did, girl. What the fuck? You think we supposed to just be like, yeah, I want to be your friend. I want to be your friend too. Oh, we're friends again. Everybody ain't Heather. Okay, so Meredith is trying to get Jen to understand how she was out of line and what she did wrong. Jen still acting stupid. Then she brings up, what about my kids? And I was like, bitch, what about them? What about them, Jen? What about them kids? What about them? I'm this close to saying fuck them kids. Girl, what about them kids is you talking about, Jen? And then Jen says that, no, Meredith said, girl, what about, like, what was said? What has my son done? You know, what has Brooks done to make you and your kids feel away? She said, well, when he got on TV and said he didn't want to see my vagina. And I was like, girl, your own children probably was sitting up there like, why the hell is you showing your vagina? Kicking up your leg and stuff. They're embarrassed. You need to be focused on that part while you up here lying yet again. Okay, so I didn't like that. I felt like, once again, Jen Shaw is a liar. Okay, definitely a liar. You were doing the absolute most, and you were definitely deflecting, making it about your kids, not acknowledging what it is that you've done, and then trying to throw it off on Meredith and on Brooks. Like, what about my kids? And once again, like I said about Heather, get to my shit first, and then we can address what you're talking about. Okay? Because you brought me here because, first of all, I shouldn't even have to say nothing. You should already know what you did wrong, so you can go ahead and just lead with an apology. But since you're not going to do that, let me remind you and let me tell you. So we're going to get my shit out the way first, and then we can talk about your shit and what you got going on. The fuck? Girl, no ma'am. But that's all I got on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Y'all leave y'all thoughts and comments down below. I'm Jamie, that's me. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share my videos. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Jamie, that's me. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.